Right, we are good.
All right, we are good to go, everybody. I will take this as a great opportunity since our friend Sebastian is on the call and join and introduce you all with a War Eagle. But Steve will surely follow up with the appropriate rebuttal to that. But I think we can all come together and say, "Go Blazers." We are in Birmingham. It makes all the sense in the world. You all know the routine. This is Tech Tuesday, the first Tech Tuesday of 2021. Again, we are doing this virtually. We wish that we could be with you all in person. We miss you all very, very much. Hopefully, as things continue to roll out, we'll be able to have some conversations about what this will look like in person, even a hybrid model. Still appreciating the fact that people like being able to have an options when it comes to consuming this content. So just super excited to explore what that's going to look like. Of course, we have to give a loving shout out to Tech Tuesday's partner and sponsor in this, which is Regions Bank. They have been longtime sponsors of this, and just super thrilled that they not only lean in as members, but that they also lean in as partners around this particular program. So thank you again to Regions Bank. And thank you to you all as well, especially considering that we have so much going on, so much vying for our attention. You literally could be doing anything else. So we don't want to miss the fact that you all have decided to spend some time with us. And I will deviate a little bit and also give a loving shout out to our new board members. I believe I saw a few of you all join as well. So we have about 8 new board members that would be rolling on with us to round out the governing body. So super appreciative of you all as well. And with that said, before we kind of get into some of the content, and obviously, you know, how 2020 impacted us and what we see just in terms of a vision of an approach for Tech Birmingham and how it relates to the entire ecosystem. I'll be sharing some of my thoughts and reflections as well as our board chair, current board chair and our current vice chair. So before we get into all of that, I'll turn it over to Christina just to give us a little bit of housekeeping, the lay of the land, and let you all know what to expect, and we'll go from there.
Great, thank you, Deon. So today's format, we are doing a fireside chat. So Deon is just going to have a very casual conversation with Stephen and Waymond about our program, you know, recap of last year's programming and just setting us up for success for this year and, you know, rolling out their vision and how we are approaching things this current year. But if you have questions at any time, go ahead and throw that either in the chat or in the Q&A, and we will save some time at the end to address all those questions. If it's somewhere that we can fit it into what the gentlemen are talking about at the moment, then we'll try to slip that in. If not, then again, at the very end, we will open that up for Q&A. And without further ado, I will send it back to Deon.
Fantastic. Thank you, Christina. We are only greeted with the lovely mugshot of Rebecca, but thank you, Rebecca, as well, obviously for the great work that you both do. And there, there she is. Hey, Rebecca. So thank you all again. Really appreciate the work that you all do and advocating for this organization as well as our entire ecosystem. So I will quickly introduce the people who will be joining me. These are the folks who point and tell me every single thing to do. So I am super happy that they have taken some time out. They really are wonderful individuals. And I will briefly I offer up some introductions, but we'll love it maybe if you all could offer some additional context and thoughts, just, you know, given your role, how you kind of came into the organization. I'm more than comfortable with you all kind of setting the stage as well, but just quickly, we have our vice chair, Sebastian, and Steve's actually been with Tech Birmingham for quite some time. So super interested just to hear his thoughts in terms of you know, what led to the start of the organization, how it kind of evolved and grew, how our role is now currently viewed within the ecosystem and some of the things that we're working on. But Steve was with Aviva Health, and serves on a number of boards, is involved in a lot of nonprofit initiatives as well. I'll let him kind of talk a little bit about that. I know one is really near and dear to his heart, so don't want to steal any of his thunder just in case he would like to offer that up. But Steve is current vice chair, and we've been moving into the chairman role in 2022. Currently sitting in that seat is Waymond Jackson, good friend of mine, known for years. Actually went to Ramsey High School. Of course, you all knew that because it's the best high school in the city. So, and Waymond serves as the CEO of the Ed Farm. And you might have realized that there was a major, massive announcement last week led by none other than Tim Cook at Apple about the expansion and the Propel Center and what that means to HBCUs and pushing forward racial equity and social justice. So Waymond is at the head of that initiative, and just super proud of the work that he's been doing. Funny enough, a lot of that can be traced back to the trip that Mayor Woodfin convened in April 2018 when we went up to Chicago and met with some Apple executives. And from that became Birmingham Can Code, which evolved into Ed Farm, and now we have that work manifesting in the Propel Center. So it's just a wonderful, full circle story. So just really happy to see Waymond, who was a part of that trip, now leading that initiative. So that said, I'll turn it over to you, gentlemen. I will go ahead. So since I started with a War Eagle, I'll turn it over to you, Steve, just in case you have any rebuttals of that, in case anything you wanted to add as well.
Well, Deon, I appreciate the introduction and a good roll tide. Yes, as Deon had mentioned, I've been with Tech Birmingham for a number of years, which basically makes me really old. When I first got with Tech Birmingham, I remember we used to have meetings to introduce us to the different vendors in town. There was a very limited number, but now it has grown to a number of people in the organization who have joined Tech Birmingham compared to what it used to be. And the focus still is about technology, but really big into the up and coming technologies that are coming down, like what I call the leading edge, but not too much the bleeding edge. So, but the cloud, the actual telemedicine stuff that's coming up and all these different items. One of the other things that Deon actually mentioned was I am on several different boards. I'm on CyberNow Summit. I'm co-chair on that with a couple other people and with Deon on there as well. And this coming year should be exciting. So make sure you keep an eye out for the dates and what we have coming up. That should be announced here pretty soon as far as what's going to be on the agenda items. And then one of the other things he did mention, I'm actually the president of the Moody Miracle League, which is near and dear to my heart because I have a special needs son. And I want to keep that organization going when we took it over from the gentleman that retired. So I am constantly out in the Moody area trying to keep that organization going. And it's a special needs baseball teams. And we actually cover 7 counties here in the state of Alabama with 193 players. So with that, I'll pass it off to Waymond.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Deon and Christina and Rebecca for organizing, and then definitely thank each and every person who's on the call, whether it's from a member organization of Tech Birmingham or just a engaged member of the Birmingham tech community. Thanks for the support of Tech Birmingham and the TechTuesday initiatives. Also, thanks to all of our board members. Deon mentioned a few earlier. I think each and every one of our board members, our executive committee members, do an outstanding job of helping, guide the organization. So appreciate them for lending their support and being on as well. I'm appreciative of the opportunity to be able to still be involved with Tech Birmingham. Being engaged from my time at the BBA and then to now. To see the organization grow under the leadership of, Jennifer, and then now to see it grow under the leadership of Deon is exciting to see, and especially during a time when our city, even prior to COVID, was starting to see so many gains in the technology space. So I guess I may want to center my comments around a couple of things. One, just how the board over the past year, 2 years or so is beginning to position or guide, provide the framework for the organization. to be able to move forward in a time where you're coming out of a recession and more engaged technology community in Birmingham, and then now having to deal with the pandemic. Also, what it is that we see are the discussions that have been with us in utilizing what we feel is a major asset or one of the best assets of the organization, which is Deon and his role and stature within the tech community, and making sure that as a board, we're able to provide the type of resources and guidance and whatever it may be to make sure that he is able to be successful with his team and make sure his team is able to be successful, which in turn makes sure that this organization is able to be successful for each one of you who are on here and the companies that actually support this work. So that's very important to us. And in doing so, you'll see many of the different programs and direction of programs I think that the organization is leaning into are going. So a couple things that I just want to highlight that from an organizational standpoint, where we've seen over the past year, 2 years or so, Tech Birmingham through the leadership, I would say that was initiated by Jennifer, and then now embraced and taken to the next level by Deon, is at the center of most things that are happening on the up and up in the technology community in Birmingham. When you think of the Ed Farm initiative, that whole thing, a little bit of that was birthed through the previous board chair of Tech Birmingham at that time, Anthony Oney, and a lot of Deon's work into it and things like that. When you think of other initiatives that have been birthed in this community, like Birmingham Bound, with Brittany Somerville and others, Deon as a representative of Tech Birmingham has been engaged with those as well. And then when you think of just some of the other, cool, unique things that we've been able to do as an organization, from the Slouse Tech to others, this organization has been engaged in those things. And so that's, really areas where we want to make sure that we are, enhancing and magnifying his leadership as well as the leadership of Christina and Rebecca through new partnerships that Christina leads through NC WIT, where coding and technology is engaging female, not founders, but female technologists, and playing that up in this community. That's very important. And then just making sure that, we are in a position to keep Tech Birmingham at the forefront of what those things are. And so while we've been successful as an organization in that right, I think Steve brings up a great point to what does the organization mean to, to those tech professionals when he mentions what's occurring with cyber now and things of that nature, which is, one of the charges that, as a board and executive committee that we put on the forefront, with Deon of, making sure that we are, the organization is positioning itself so that, unlike any other organization, in the city right now, that, we can deliver and be there providing resources and services for technology companies that they can't get elsewhere, which is a real unique opportunity that we have in a place to play in that space. A couple things kind of moving into this year, as well as some things that we looked at last year. COVID has affected all of our organizations in one way or another. The cool thing, I guess, about some of the startups that are engaged or involved here in our ecosystem that have been nimble enough to be able to respond to some of the challenges of that. You've seen those opportunities, but you've also had just as many to where it was negative impacts on companies. Tech Birmingham has been in a position, I think early on, we saw some good shifts in some of the programming. I think that Deon and the team were able to bring to the table to begin to offer to companies in this space of just kind of, what's the information that's out there? What do you need to know? And using TechTuesdays and other venues to be able to disseminate that information to companies and keep people in the know. Another part of that is, we saw the need through the organization and through the board to, really look at how we will in the future develop our programs and how those programs, need to focus on being inclusive how those programs need to focus on, a niche audience of, of our tech community, and what is it truly, the role that we as an organization can provide and do in those spaces. So know that those are priorities that as a board that we've set in place, along with, the vision of Deon and his team of, making sure that we get there. A couple of things just that kind of trending in that direction to where you'll see some additional focus from the organization on, one, Tech Birmingham now for the first time ever, has its own 501c3 status. So for many of you know that, an organization like Tech Birmingham is a 501c6 because it's an association. Previously, there had been a relationship with Tech Alabama to serve as kind of a fiscal agent of sorts for Tech Birmingham as it relates to nonprofit or philanthropic funding. One of the things that we've seen just in the trending across the country in general, when you look at association organizations, areas of where many of the associations, whether it's a tech association, a chamber, any type of association where they're having a lot of increase in opportunity is through their foundation funding. And so we are excited about the opportunity, and now that Tech Birmingham will, one, be able to engage in what may be considered like to further its mission of the education, the workforce impact work that it can do, and have funded from a philanthropic side, as well as on the other side of making sure that companies are being served through their membership, through our association work. Which one of the things I definitely want to hear, as Deon and speaks to this, the focus, moving forward in 2021 on inclusion and setting up, I think, a few affinity groups that have been discussed that will focus on specific areas of how do we, continue to be more inclusive as a tech community in Birmingham, which could be modeled in other places around the country based off of the work that we're able to do here, pulling up on the strengths of things that we, see and have, where we've been recognized as a community that's one of the top communities for female founders, or top community for being able to provide access and resources to minority founders. We want to make sure that as we have new entrants coming to this market, whether it's Black Girl Ventures or HBC, UVC, or other entrants who are servicing the work that we're doing here, that Tech Birmingham remains at the forefront of pulling those organizations together and helping them, leverage what we're doing here. And lastly, I think it's just a testament to the work that, again, this organization has done, but also a testament to each of you who are on the calls and the companies that have supported this type of work for us to be here in 2021 in position to still operate and also, to still grow from what we're doing. So thank each and every one of you for everything that y'all are doing. Kudos to the staff of this team, to Steve and the other board members for the role that everyone's playing in making sure that this organization not just maintains, but that this organization thrives and continues to be catalytic in nature. And one of the things that I think that's very important is, looking at how catalytic Tech Birmingham has become over the past, 5 to 6 years in, the work that it's doing and spurring and starting in the tech community. And so with that, Deon, I will turn it back over to you and look forward to any questions or however y'all want to proceed to move forward.
No, thank you for the comments, for the leadership. That was, I think, a perfect summation and stage set, and just of Tech Birmingham's impact, and honestly, it falls directly in line with the theme, if you will, of 2021. How do we not just survive what is going on, but how do we thrive in it as well? I'll take this as an opportunity to highlight some of the things that you mentioned, Waymond. So stepping back a little bit, one of the things that we want you all to take away from this is an understanding of just not what we have to do and how we have to pivot once the pandemic really started to set in, right? It's no mistake that we had to move to a virtual offering, as did everybody else, right? Now, I'm happy with the speed that we were able to do that, and the fact that we were able to get some good feedback initially and quickly offer up content around that, whether it was people dealing with taking teams completely virtual, then the cybersecurity implications, the logistical implications. I mean, we even dove into things around, preventing burnout and mental health. And so to be able to really offer that for our members in the community is something that I'm personally am very proud of. Just making sure that we continue to operate with a member-centric approach, right? Like our view is that when our members win, Birmingham wins. And so everything that we do is through that lens. So it's not only about having a proper understanding of that, but just to share with you all the degree that we've been going to make sure that we are responding. We have our assumptions in our head about how things have changed and how that has impacted the needs of organizations as well as individuals. But, true to lean startup methodology, right? Kind of going back to our tech and entrepreneurial roots, we want to make sure that we're validating that as well. We actually set a commitment. I committed to the board, maybe silly, to talk to every single member in very short order, but I think it was important to make sure that we do that. Two things emerged from that exercise that is still ongoing. One, it is incredibly hard to talk to hundreds of members, but I think it is important to commit to that work. And so that I do plan to have those intentional conversations with everybody. But from the conversations that we have had, a couple of things become clear. One is just the importance of that network and the ability to be able to come together to develop those relationships in person, which is obviously one of the reasons that we continue Tech Tuesday, and we're looking forward to being able to host everybody in a safe and physical setting once the time is appropriate. But having those collision points, and whether it was not just Tech Tuesday, but startup drinks or even some of the high level conferences that we put on, like that was super important for people. And so not only are we operating with that in mind as we continue to set the calendar for 2021, but we're also looking at ways that we can offer those experiences in a virtual format, but in a way that is still fun and engaging. So obviously we've had conversations with Ashley Ammons, who is a board member, all right, co-founder of Mixtros, figuring out how we can make sure that you all have those opportunities as well. Going back to what Waymond said earlier about creating that framework for the board to make sure that we have every single thing that we need, not just as an organization, but as a community to be effective and efficient. Especially as it relates to the new programming, right? So we have Cyber Threat Thursday, and that's really, look at that as a continuation of the work that we've been doing with Cyber Now Summit. And Steve, I'll just put a flag in that if you wanted to offer something else, one, given your role in cybersecurity, but also given your leadership position with CNS as we kind of paint the picture for what we're going to be unveiling in 2021. But kind of bringing that back around though, we wanted to make sure that there was an opportunity for us to deliver the content ongoing throughout the year, as well as those opportunities to connect with people in the cybersecurity industry throughout the year as well. So be on the lookout for Cyber Threat Thursday. We're also going to be releasing Friday Fundamentals. And it was informed by a lot of conversation. And shout out to Rebecca for really leading in and getting some of the feedback that informed this work, right? But making sure that we are meeting the technical community as well. Obviously, if you look at events like Sloss Tech and Birmingham Tech Week that we're going to be pivoting toward, like it was a lot about entrepreneurship. It was about technology, but maybe more from a high level point of view. And one of the things that we've heard right on that talking tour was that there is a large segment of our community that desires to dive deep into the weeds, right? To figure out what's coming down the road, what is new for Birmingham, where is the entire technology ecosystem going? And so we're going to be releasing Friday Fundamentals for people who are looking to get their toe into that, but also tying that into programs and opportunities as well for people that want to go deeper as well. So that's something else that's coming. And then a lot of you all are already familiar with our work around BWIT, or Birmingham Women in Technology. That is an exemplar program of ours, especially as it relates to the affinity group and making sure that we are leaning in and embracing inclusion. So that has just gone to the next level now. Shout out to Christina for that. BWIT has a leadership council where there's a mentoring component. That program is leap years beyond where it was. And so I'm just super proud of the work that they have done with that. And a continuation of that work, we're also going to be releasing or announcing rather an affinity group around LGBTQ community in tech. And so I'm super proud, again, just really embracing Birmingham's role and Birmingham's legacy as being a champion of diversity and inclusion. So I am super pumped about that. Rebecca has been doing a lot of great work around kind of putting the framework and foundation, as well as Christina. So I don't want to steal any of their thunder and release too much just yet, but you can definitely be on the lookout for that soon as well. And I think that is important for us to kind of take a stand and just really embrace that and what it means. Again, I make no bones about it. If Birmingham is going to thrive, if we're going to hit that next level, we have to make sure that we are doing bold and daring things in a way that elevates Birmingham's brand. Whenever I talk to people, a lot of them are still shocked about some of the stuff that is going down down here. It's not shocking to us, right? You all are doing the work. We're seeing it each and every day. But there are so many other individuals who lack a proper understanding, a proper context of just what it is that we're doing in this region. And so we're going to have to make sure that we're continuing to elevate Birmingham's brand if we are going to attract the talent and retain the talent that we wish for us to hit that next level. So those are the things that I wanted to make sure I emphasize and offer up. Talking a bit, Steve, is there anything that you might want to offer up just in terms of your role as an individual, your role as a member? I mean, you kind of have different intersecting lanes, if you will, with your relationship with Tech Birmingham.
Yes, I mean, of course, I approach it more from a technology standpoint since I've been in technology for 30-something years. For what I cover, for example, for Viva, I'm covering cloud, we're covering DevOps, we cover the security. So my role within Tech Birmingham is to make sure from that, like I was saying, that leading edge, what's going on in today's technology that maybe our members don't know about or want more information, like you were talking about for Friday Fundamentals. That's a perfect opportunity for us to talk about all the different cloud technologies that are coming out. Most people know the top three, they know the Amazon, they know the Azure, they know the Google, but Alibaba is becoming like moving up. It's expected this year they're going to be like probably the number 3 or even possibly the number 2 spot if they keep getting their sales going. So I think bringing more of that technology to our members to allow them to see what's out there and what's happening. And then some of the frustrations that they run into with our office right now has gone almost completely remote. We probably have 30 out of our 600 employees that actually come into the office, and remote has been a struggle. Remote access, actual meetings with people has been a stressful time for a lot of different organizations. So, we did our Cyber Now Summit, and it was successful doing it as a virtual event. Would have been great to meet in person. I'm one of these people that I love, maybe I'm old school, love the handshakes, love meeting with people. I know it's more difficult to do that now with the COVID and that, so these virtual events have happened, these Zoom calls. Those are all things that as an organization, we got to help our members understand ways to do it better or to do these things. For example, a lot of people get on these meetings and they'll go on to different meetings and they won't even do video. It's harder to be engaged if people can't see you. I love seeing y'all. It's great seeing everybody that's on this call right now. I can't see the actual members who have joined us, the attendees, but it's nice to be able to see people's body language and everything else, because maybe they don't understand what we're talking about. And it gives us an opportunity to see that and say, oh, I can tell you probably don't understand what I'm talking about. From a technology standpoint for Tech Birmingham, we're covering for the inclusive items, the demographic areas, the BWIT, and all those other things. The cloud's going to be important, the remote access, the conference calls through video conferencing. And then staying on top of these, one of the other items I've been working on recently is telemedicine and telehealth. That's a growing area here in Birmingham that a lot of people don't realize. We're doing a lot in that area. Dr. Wallace over at UAB has been putting in a massive telehealth telemedicine system that even Viva Health has been helping with. We're putting Wi-Fi out at all the different locations for all of our businesses to allow those people in rural areas who don't have good internet to still be able to see their doctors through the telehealth and telemedicine portals. It allows them to drive up to any one of our things. These are things that other businesses that are emerging can jump into. Healthcare is a huge factor here in Birmingham, and there's a lot of opportunity for different businesses to jump in on that bandwagon. And we'd be more than willing to help that through Tech Birmingham and how to get into some of those contacts and that.
Fantastic. Well, as always, Steve, I wanted to, of course, appreciate the insight, appreciate your leadership. How long, you said, are we gonna age yourself, or can we figure out how long you've been with the organization?
I want to say I started about 2 years after the organization started, and though I did come to the initial meetings, I've been pretty much with Tech Birmingham for a long time.
That was what, 1978?
I think it was 1932. Hey, I'm closer to retirement than I am to working, so there's a plus side to everything.
I'm just kidding. So everybody, if you're curious, Birmingham, Tech Birmingham started in 2002. It was actually the Birmingham Area Technology Leadership Alliance. I don't know if you can tell us why that interesting acronym was chosen.
I am not sure. But I like the new name. Tech Birmingham is perfect.
I like that a little bit better. Good deal. So Waymond, this is probably the most important question. What do you and Tim Cook talk about at night, since y'all are so close now?
Tim emails Anthony, not me. I do know that to be a fact, that the board chair received that type of email from there. So, but I will say this. I think it was piggybacking on one of the comments that you made about Birmingham, and while that center, in itself is going in Atlanta, people are, what the emails that we're getting are people coming into this Ed Farm email and knowing that that's something that's in Birmingham, and then they're seeing the story about Birmingham Tech and like this initiative, all these different things that are going on is coming out of an organization in Birmingham. And so, that bodes very well for what's happening with our tech ecosystem here. So I think, to the point that you were lifting up about, what is it that people are becoming, synonymous with, Birmingham about, and learning about us as a technology hub and space, things like that are occurring. The successes that, again, other organizations are having on here, whether it's Endeavor or Birmingham Bound, and all the other different initiatives, is really bringing a lot of light to, what's occurring in Birmingham.
Absolutely. No, great point. And again, just, props to you for leading the effort. I don't know how you did it, especially considering that you just welcomed another kid. So
Congratulations.
Yes, congratulations on that one, sir. And just really, really proud to see where Farm is now. So I will, Christina, before we kind of just welcome you back up to guide us through the next step or any questions. One of the things that I do want to mention is just how proud I am to serve in this work. I'm looking at some of the attendees now, and so I just recently rolled off of the Railroad Park Board, and that was one of my proudest involvements. And it's not because of just how it transformed a physical space, right? I mean, it was important for that as well, right? You took 19 acres that was just, barren wasteland, just desolate. And you look at it now, 10 years later, and we have an entire neighborhood that did not exist before, right? Blocks and blocks and blocks of activity. But so it was not just that, but it also changed the collective psyche of Birmingham. It really gave us some muscle memory. We were able to kind of look back on that and say, hey, we've done that now. That project was like $22 million. And then the baseball stadium, 3 years, not even 3 years later, 2 years and some change, right? Like $60+ million. And now we have like all of this activity that is going on because we're used to that now, right? Like that's nothing, a $22 million park. And so, 10 years ago, that was a new chapter in Birmingham. And I draw similar parallels with where we are now. And it's a bit more difficult for me to kind of pinpoint maybe when that moment was that Birmingham started to elevate. I think we just capture lightning in a bottle, right? I mean, we can obviously go back and trace Birmingham's technology ecosystem and its growth over the years. But, make no mistake, right? Like having Mayor Woodfin and his election toward the end of 2017, that was massive, right? Ships sale, that was December 2017, massive, right? But not only that, and we had Lisa Herring, who was superintendent, I guess, a few months before that as well. And so we just have all of these dynamic people, all of this confluence, everything taking place at the same time that really paved the way. It paved the way in a lot of respects for Ed Farm. And look at what that is now. And so here, not even 5 years removed from that, right? We have Techstars. Brittany is doing gangbusters with Birmingham bound, 16, 17 plus companies that have relocated or expanded. We have Alabama Futures Fund, Endeavor, as Waymond mentioned. I mean, we could go down the list, right? We have Birmingham Business Alliance and what they're doing. It is an exciting time. I am absolutely thrilled and proud to do this work with you all. And I think just from a collective standpoint, the next challenge and opportunity for us as a region will be to come together and to start doing an even better job of aligning and figuring out how we all plug into that ecosystem and lean into our respective roles. That is what is exciting to me. That's what I'm really looking forward to the most, to figure out how we all start to kind of come together and just lean into the work, support one another, and take Birmingham to that next level. So I'm going to be a broken record about that throughout the year, but it really is probably the best time to be in Birmingham and doing this work. So thank you all, to everybody, to Waymond, to Steve. I am super grateful for you guys and your leadership. To everybody on the call, just one, before I forget, make sure you're a member. Make sure you're talking about what membership means. Spread the word, let folks know what comes with it. If you need any talking points, if you need whatever it is, lean on us. Give us an email, give us a call. We're more than happy to support. For those who are already mission partners, right? Whether you're going above and beyond, whether you're just members, we are grateful. We appreciate you as well. And we're super excited to continue to unveil what we're going to be planning for 2021 and the programs and partnerships that we have lined up. But obviously none of that happens without you all. So thank you all again. Christina, I'll turn it over to you in case there was anything that I might have missed. Rebecca, feel free to chime in as well. But with that said, show is yours.
Well, one thing that we didn't really get to talk about was the kids coding program, and we all know that's my baby. But this past year, because of just not being able to meet in person, we tried to pivot to doing an online program for just girls through a grant that we received from NCWIT. So we did our first meeting, and we had realized that the girls that had signed up needed a lot more guidance. And so we did a hybrid. We had girls that continued to meet online, and then our partners over at Red Mountain Maker, they helped us with letting us use their space. And that was a big challenge. We're used to having our programs sell out as soon as we announce them for the kids. We had space for 15 girls, and we only had 5 sign up and take advantage of this opportunity. And so that was very humbling for us. So we did take a lot of those notes, and we're going to reevaluate and see if summer will be able to again meet in a hybrid capacity, and we're going to do some better fundraising so that we can have better equipment to offer a better experience online. But one of the things that we realized is that the kids themselves are tired of being virtual. The grown-ups are too, but especially the kids, they do virtual school all day long. And then the last thing that they want to do on a Saturday for 4 hours is virtual coding lessons. So this year, we're going to have to rethink that. And so we would love any of our members who may have some ideas on how to, provide that experience in a different way. We would love to hear feedback. We would love to hear, how we can offer this to kids, because that is something that is part of our mission statement. We want to make sure that we are setting these kids up for jobs for the future. And so we see our kids coding programs as workforce development. And so, we would love that. And then in the fall, I can't announce it, but in the fall, we have an opportunity to do some really cool programs with a national partner from that was brought to us from NCWIT. So announcements will be made soon on that, but be on the lookout because this is another very exciting and potentially, we'll put more of our programs on the map on a national level. As far as questions go, let's pivot to questions. Becky Cole asks, if we haven't had our one-on-one chat with Deon, what's the time frame for scheduling? I know it takes some time to get through to everyone. So Deon, what's your roadmap to hitting every single one of our members like you audaciously would like to do?
Audacious is one way to put it. Might have chosen a different word. We will go with audacious. So I do plan to have touches with everybody by the end of February. But I think I heard you correctly. That was Becky Cole with our friends over at DC Blocks, and I want to stay on Becky Cole's good side. So I will chat with Becky if she would like to this week or next week. But so that's the plan, end of February. But I mean, by all means, I think most of the people on this call have my email or cell phone number, so feel free to reach out at any time.
Great. All right. Any other questions from the peanut gallery? All right then. Well, let's see. I think you've stunned everybody, Deon. You've stunned them all into silence.
I wouldn't go with that. It's probably just the big scarf, which has quickly become my favorite thing. So just a personal story. My mom got me this for Christmas, and she said, "I know you don't do big scarves. Scarves. Which one is it? Scarves or scarves? It's scarves, right?"
Scarves. Yes, that's the plural.
Right. And so anyway, she got me this, and I was like, you know what? Like, I really like this is probably one of my favorite items now. And Steve, you might appreciate this. I don't know if you can. There we go.
Yeah.
So nice though, right? Not, it's just subtle enough, right? That's a mom's love right there. So anyway, so that's probably what stunned everybody, the ginormous scarf. So.
Well,
And
your
even
mom
if you
is a
didn't like
style
it,
icon.
you still have to wear it because your mom bought it for you.
There's
There's no choice.
It's true. Right.
Well, he's a good son. I don't usually wear what my mom gives me. But his mom is a style icon, so there is that.
Far too kind. I appreciate that. Thank you.
I love Miss Naomi.
Miss Naomi is awesome. I actually, anybody, I'm trying to see who all know. Y'all cannot share this with her, but my mom is from New York and born in Niagara Falls, actually. And so I was able to contact the library there, and they found her birth announcement in the newspaper, as well as a photo, a baby photo of her. So I'm gonna, I guess, I don't know, like have that printed and framed or something like that. So
That's
like,
awesome.
the only thing that sucks is that her birthday is like the end of December. So it's like I gotta like what?
Mother's Day is coming
Mother's
up.
Day, yeah.
Valentine's Day.
That's okay. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Mother's Day. I like that.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And and all right for New York. I'm a Yankee too. That's why I talk fast.
Yeah, you will definitely like Mama Gordon in that case.
Buffalo Wild Wings, right?
Yeah, right. Good deal. All right, Christina, I will turn it over to you to close us out.
Right.
Unless Rebecca wanted to come on and just say anything, but I think she's fine being over there with the superhero mural. So in that case, my friend, it is all yours.
Well, don't forget to check out our events calendar. We do have some events coming up. We've got our first Cyber Threat Thursday coming on this Thursday with John Clay from Trend Micro. He's going to be giving his security predictions for 2021. And so we're very excited about that. And then in February, we've got another small group empowerment program with BWIT. So this is our small group mentorship program. So this is for all the women. Go ahead and sign up. It's not too late. And we would love to have you. This is led by Julie Stein, who is one of our new board members this year for 2021. So you don't want to miss this. This is a program that she has adapted for BWIT, and she does this program through her company, CGI Corporate. So we love, that our board members are sharing their resources with us as well. So anyhow, we are all always available, so contact us with any questions. And that is it. Thank you all for attending and joining us for our first program of 2021.
Thank you, Christina.
Thank
you,
y'all.
everybody.
Thanks.